Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 22 of the Unknown Comics podcast. I'm Brandon. There's Chris and Tanner. Hey, guys. How are y'all?
I'm good.
Doing all right.
Hope everyone else is having a great night tonight. It's Thursday. Mm-hmm. It's technically my Friday from my other job.
Yep.
But then I have to go to work at my other job. And
The fun job? The fun job?
Mostly fun job.
Not right now because you're running cable.
Yeah, it's not great when
It's
I'm
the installation job.
Yeah, when I'm in the insulated ceilings running cables. But the next couple runs shouldn't be so bad.
We're just taking you back to your, cable man days.
Yeah, I love it. So if you are watching us live, say hi in the chat.
Yeah.
Engage us
on Twitch.
We will read your comments. We are really good about it. So yeah, if you are watching us live, definitely. And I'll be putting some questions in on the chat as we go for you to answer. Or if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to us,
chat us up there.
Just chat us up there. Answer the questions in the comments. So definitely do that. We do have a pretty cool announcement. So we're going to entice you to to get you and your friends to our YouTube channel. Yep. We have a giveaway that we're going to do if we get to 1,500. Once we get to 1,500 subscribers, so it's not an if.
When we get there.
When we get there, we will be giving away this Yellow Label 9/8 Venom number 3 signed by Donny Cates and Tyler Kirkham.
Nope, signed by Donny
and Stegman.
Ryan
Stegman, sorry.
Yep.
Cates and Stegman. Why did I read that as... That's not even his cover.
Nope.
Idiot. Man.
This is the Molina cover. It's a 1 in 25. So this values for around $1,000.
Yes. So this is a big book. Once we get to 1,500, how are we drawing for this?
We'll pull up our list of subscribers and do a random number.
Okay. So there you go. So anybody who has subscribed can win. So get your mom, your kids, get them set up with YouTube accounts.
Or mostly PG, sometimes PG-13. So it could
no.
We're pretty safe.
I think we're okay.
No, they just don't need to watch the live sales.
If Darren's on a video, don't go on.
Yeah, that's pretty safe. Or if I'm live streaming games, so that's Twitch. That's not YouTube. So,
yep.
So yeah, definitely get in on that. So definitely promote that. Help us get the word out about our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of great content. People need to see it, so we need to evangelize the Unknown Comics YouTube page and
biblical there. I like it.
Well, that's evangelize isn't exclusive to
Jesus.
That stuff. You can evangelize, putting the toilet paper roll where the toilet paper comes down. That could be
the correct way.
The correct way. Yes, you can be an evangelist of that.
Yeah.
Did you? I learned that was nothing but propaganda from the toilet paper companies to do it the underway, because you subconsciously pull more paper when it's coming from underneath, so you'll buy more toilet paper.
I just think it's people that just don't give a crap and they just want to see the world burn.
I just think it's wrong.
Like my wife just doesn't care. She really has no preference.
Yeah.
But when we have the kind that's just the hook. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pull the little thing out, which by the way is proper. And she just chucks it on. She doesn't even look. Just not a care in the world.
Yeah, I keep the restroom shit at the store. I keep thinking we're gonna have to have a training over this.
Yeah,
because people keep sticking it on there the wrong way. I'm like, we're gonna have to have a training.
I can't live in that kind of chaos. And taking her shoes off in the living room. I don't know how.
If you're watching, you can slap him when he gets home.
She's not watching. She's too busy. She's too busy wrangling.
Slap him with one of
She's
those
too busy wrangling toddlers. So yeah. Well, we got a bunch of animated stuff to talk about. There's a lot of animated stuff going on. So first, we had a new episode of the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. New episode of Bad Batch. So I think the big thing here, just from what I'm was seeing, it's definitely still filler. They're still filling out these new characters that some people have seen, but some people really haven't. And of course, the new character, the girl there. But we had them. We had talked about kind of how this cartoons like this are a lot of times for just kids, this like that, and then they just straight up went and murdered people. So
yeah, they did.
I was kind of like, okay, this is not geared towards kids. This is definitely they're writing this for the everyday Star Wars person. If it's not just about that. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they just kind of straight up did that in a cartoon. The second or
Executions.
It was off screen.
Yeah, it was.
but it wasn't implied. It happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they walked away and then shooting happened. It was like boop, that happened.
I mean, we've seen it before in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
watched
think
Anakin just murder, and then in Revenge of the Sith, he murdered children.
yeah, which I think is it's keeping in line the fact that it's just as important as the movies,
Yeah.
right? The cinematic, the live actions, they're trying to do it the same way they would there, even though it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of my point there. Is just like it's even as Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's not just a kid like a little kid thing.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not grabbing me. The Bad Batch just isn't hooking me, and I don't know why. I understand why people would enjoy it, but I don't know if the storylines are just not that strong. Like I don't know what I'm wanting.
Yeah.
I guess I'm wanting to see more of. I think I do enjoy the parts of kind of seeing what Tarkin's plan for their military is. You know how we're going to get from clone troopers to stormtroopers. There's always been speculation of how that came about, but it's always been very vague, right? When they went to conscripted soldiers versus the clones. I guess I was hoping that that's what I would be seeing in this, and maybe that's where they go.
I think
over time
we're going to see more of that.
But it's just like there's a bunch of episodes I don't need to watch.
Yeah,
And so once it's out, I'll go back and watch the ones that are pertinent to that, just like I did Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I think it's kind of a carbon copy of The Mandalorian, but for kids.
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
I still think
custom
Mandalorian
people,
was fine with kids, though.
Well, and right, it was not that it was bad for kids, but this
Yeah.
one's geared for a younger audience, just being a cartoon.
Yeah.
But Mandalorian culture, people adopt a child, they go to space, they crash, child gets into mischief, but ends up saving the ship. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the same stuff that happened in The Mandalorian.
Yeah. No, there's definitely notes. Like I said, I'm just waiting for.
Except for nobody's obsessed about this kid.
Yeah. They're not making plushies about Omega.
She's not near as cute.
Yeah, not until they bring her into a Force user, which I really do think that's going to be something we're going to see. I think you're right about that. So we'll just have to see.
No, she's just a serial killer.
That's
don't
my.
know
I mean,
yet.
she seems to know everything.
She's just gonna murder everybody.
She's filling them all in on what the
Since-
Empire was going to do. So
Since when are all Mando's Australian though? Like she has a thick.
She has the New Zealand, actually. So Tamura Morrison, the actor that played Jango and voiced Boba Fett, sorta. He is New Zealand, so they kept that going. However, your accent isn't genetic.
Right.
Your accent is who you're around.
Right.
yeah,
So technically, all the clones should talk like Kaminoans.
that would be a sight to see.
That would be hilarious, right?
real slow.
Because technically Django was probably the only. Boba would probably have it
Yeah,
because
He's with
he actually
Jango all
lived
the
with
time.
Django,
Yeah.
right? But it's just easier. I mean, if you were going to cast that actor, a couple of times in future,
Yeah, I'm curious if it's how many people actually do the voices for the Bad Batch. For the clones themselves. It's gonna be one voice in different terms, but I think the guy that is
D. Bradley Baker does all the voices for the Bad Batch.
yeah okay that's what I
Yeah,
was thinking.
he is all of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now he also sounds for now I'm always confused with
He's a
what
total American, though.
his name is because of every time you're like crosshairs or say something differently, but he sounds
Scopes. Scopes.
yeah, but he sounds just like Thrawn.
A little bit.
Yeah, I was like wow, they're like very very similar, and I
the thing
wonder
is,
if that's kind of what they
he's
want.
He's a trained voice actor that can go to those different ranges. So it was like kind of, and maybe that's what it is. Find us that midpoint between this voice and the clone voice, right?
Yeah.
But he differentiated. Like if you go back and watch Clone Wars, there was a difference between Cody and Rex.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was slight.
And it was mostly because like you're thinking about their personality in your head,
Yeah.
right? So you got to think Rex is a little bit more, loose,
Yeah.
not as proper, as a soldier as
Yeah,
Cody
but with the
was.
Bad Batch, he can just go, hog wild. Lazy Gamer says, haven't been watching, way behind, still has yet to see The Mandalorian.
Wow.
Whoa.
We're like 2 seasons into that,
Yeah,
bro.
bud.
Like the second season, like you're going to be real behind because
Well, if you're
there's
caught
a
up with
lot of new TV shows.
Caught up on the podcast, you know what happens.
Exactly. 'Cause we just spoiled the crap out of it.
Yep.
The spoilerific. So with Star Wars animated news, it was announced today that Dave Filoni is now officially the executive creative director at Lucasfilm, which I kind of thought he already was. I mean, he was the creative director,
Yeah.
but now he's executive, which, depending on how Lucasfilm's organized, that could mean,
I think he said he's a executive.
yeah,
So it doesn't mean he's a
right,
executive. Yeah. So,
right, yeah, and
But he's definitely got a bigger role.
yeah, he's
than he already had.
he's basically one of the higher ups there. That's kind of dictating, which like he deserves it. He has pretty much carried the Star Wars franchise on his back for the past few years.
A lot of people have been wanting for quite some time for him to replace Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah,
He's the Kano of Lucasfilms.
honestly though, I would be interested to see like at decision points where the actual, because here's the thing, Kathleen Kennedy is his boss and is over everything he does right now.
Yeah.
So it may not have to be a replacement thing.
Yeah.
It's just a where's the line drawn, right?
Yeah.
Does it need to be pulled further back? But now that Kevin Feige is more active in Lucasfilm
Yeah.
stuff, that may change as well.
Yeah.
And she may stay as an executive, but
I kind of think it maybe just be a role change.
Yeah.
Right? You're the front person when we need people to do this or that, but creative wise,
because here's the thing, she's been in that type of role for years.
she's been there. She was the one big thing that came over when George Lucas sold it.
Yeah.
She had to come with it.
and she has a pedigree. I mean, she was thick as thieves with Spielberg and all of that.
Yep.
There's something there. And yes, maybe she doesn't have the big creative vision for where the Star Wars franchises go, but then you surround yourself with people that do. And if she's raising Filoni up and she's bringing Feige in,
And Jon Favreau's already been doing all
and Favreau's been doing his thing. I think a restructure is probably more than just get her out.
Yeah, and I don't think that she needs to be like pushed out.
Yeah.
I think it's just that it's good to see if she's knowing I need to bring people up because I'm not doing it good enough or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to bring in the people that are weak where you're strong, or both ways. So
Right.
and I think that's if she's got that kind of leadership, then that's good. So
All right. Well, Chris and I, did you finish it this week?
finished it. I finished it last week.
You finished it last week.
Yeah, I was already done with it.
So I started it before you, but finished it after you.
Yeah, I just binged it.
And so it was only 8 episodes. So we finished Invincible, the first season. Darren started it. But
Tanner's
just holding
Tanner's
out.
losing at life.
Yeah. It's like I said, I think I like that I knew nothing about the comics.
Yeah, I
And
didn't either.
and
So it's
honestly,
fresh, right?
Honestly, I don't think I'm going to go read.
No,
It may be an after the fact thing, right?
I've got the trades coming.
You do?
Yeah,
It's holy crap, that's a bloody show.
yeah, and it's funny because it gets bloodier right as the show
Oh
goes
my
on.
gosh.
So every episode, the title treatment gets bloodier.
Yeah.
So it'll say Invincible and it's all blue and yellow and just a little splash of blood. And by the time you get to the 8th episode, it's Invincible and it's just blood all over the title. So it's a really good show. I really enjoyed it. Getting to know all the different characters, getting to see and it's kind of like Superman, right? They're aliens. There's this big space thing. There's all these cosmic other things that are going to eventually come into it. So
Right. And then the last episode, I mean, and
it's been out for a couple weeks.
it's been out for a couple weeks, and this isn't really spoiling a whole lot. Basically, there was a whole, segment at the very end of the last episode that all it is like, coming up next season on Invincible. They didn't really say that, but it was like, here's all these plot holes we left completely open.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
is going to be fun, because there was the big overarching story, but then there were all those little subplots, and you're watching that little thing at the end. There's like, oh yeah, we forgot to finish that.
Yep.
I think it's going to be neat to see, next season how that goes. Of course, a lot of those story arcs are in the comics, and a lot of people know how that goes.
Yep.
I don't know how. And chat may be able to comment how closely it followed the
It
comics.
could be very like with Kirkman. He said he's already got like 7 seasons worth of material.
Yeah.
And Walking Dead, he walked around the same kind of stuff, but it was a pretty different story overall, right? I mean, overall, it's got the same idea.
Yeah.
So he may be doing the same thing with Invincible. It may have certain characters that hit it, but it may not be.
These are the aliens that he told Image were in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
There are some aliens.
There's quite a few aliens in this. Was it the first episode with the invasion that just keeps happening over and over and over?
First
or the second
episode.
one. That's
It's
the second
it's
one.
the second one with the aliens that are kind of
Their time is
time.
different.
Their time display is different. It was
an interesting episode.
yeah, but they're still out there, and
Are they? Because I thought he
they
went
were part
into
of
their
that.
universe and like wrecked their world.
They there was a little shot in the last segment.
Yeah.
You saw them at like a conference table, and it had Omni-Man's picture, and they were like, we got to get him.
I don't know how that guy is alive. The one that they just kept messing up, and I was like, "How's this guy still alive?"
He a tough dude.
He was.
So yeah, I thought it was really good. I can't. I mean, other than it was just.
What'd you think about the robots storyline overall?
I thought it was good. It was a little weird.
Yeah. They turned himself into a teenage boy.
Well,
I mean, because of the girl, but she just is going to keep getting younger. So it's
he was a
interesting.
human though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just a human controlling robots. I'm curious to see where, like I said, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Now he's not as invincible as he was.
He still controls robots though.
Correct.
In that last fight though,
It's in his brain.
he was inside. Well, he was inside of a
bigger
a
robot.
mech suit too.
Yeah.
So
He's like Iron Man.
yeah, he's like a kid Iron Man.
Yeah.
Is kind of where they threw it.
That's actually 30.
Yeah, he kind of starts as a Brainiac character, and then now but he controls drones just like Tony Stark does.
Yeah.
He is Tony Stark.
He's got a control chip in his brain,
Yeah,
whereas Tony does it with the suit and AI.
I'm sure Tony could figure it out. He can make freaking nanobots come out of his pores and make a suit now.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. If he was alive.
Oh, too
in
soon.
the comics, he is.
Well, he just came back to life in the comics.
Yeah.
He's just been AI for the last who knows how long because they killed him off because they were trying to make Riri more important.
Yeah.
So he's been missing in the comics for years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he's just now back. So it's kind of a weird thing.
So in other animated news, we got a couple of announcements as far as the DC animated universe. So going in personal importance, lowest to highest, there's the trying to remember what the something Adventures of Superman, and the premise is it's a very anime art style series, and it's going to focus on like young adult Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen as they're starting at the Daily Planet, and kind of his kind of his beginning of his life in Metropolis, right?
So this is HBO Max?
This is HBO Max.
Okay.
Yep, both series. So that's coming. And then in bigger news to me is they're essentially redoing the Batman animated series. So the very noir style, Art Deco kind of the Burton style, right?
Yeah.
Is coming back. And the big part of that is Bruce Timm, who was the co-executive producer of the original animated series, is coming back for this as well, along with they're partnering with J.J. Abrams and some other dude I can't remember his name to save my life right now. But I'm really excited about it. I love Batman the animated series. I was never a huge Batman fan,
Yeah.
but I love that show, right? And
I mean, that show kind of defined my childhood.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty good.
call declined.
Are you ringing?
Yeah, my watch was going off. So are you excited about the new Batman animated series? It's very hard for me to type questions and talk at the same time and then click wrong things because my monitor is going the wrong direction. So pretty exciting stuff there. What else did we get this week?
So we got the new Loki trailer. Just a little teaser. It was funny though. I like that when he just like takes all his uniform. He's all like, what? What do you? And then I guess he was like, didn't want to follow up in directions, and you see that guy just vaporized.
That was the look on his face seeing that dude vaporize was great.
I mean, I guess it's a more humane way than the way Grandmaster did it.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. They gave us a little bit more storyline with, trusting Loki, not trusting Loki, and getting to fix all the stuff that he screwed up. So,
Seeing naked Loki getting his clothes vaporized off.
Yeah.
So June 3rd?
6th, I think.
6th.
Yeah. Yeah. And every Wednesday. Yeah. So we'll have, I think it's going to be pretty cool. So, and then I think MODOK comes out like this next week on Hulu.
Nice. Robot Chicken MODOK.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see. So I'm trying to think of other news. So we're really pushing, if you are a tabletop gamer, and I know not everybody here is, if you're a tabletop gamer, we have a Discord, and we're trying to get everybody on, or at least I am. This is kind of my what I'm working on is trying to get everybody on the Discord. That's going to kind of be our hub for a lot of our announcements, events, and things like that. So if you are a tabletop gamer, if you're local to Amarillo or you're just online, definitely hit us up and get our Discord link. It's in our Facebook feed and everything like that. And it is open to everybody. And you can find other tabletop gamers. So all sorts, miniature gaming, board gaming, card gaming, all that stuff. We will be doing some online events through it. So you definitely want to check us out there. Tanner, what do we have to look forward to on the YouTube's channels?
So earlier this week, Darren and I shot a video talking about deaths in comic books.
Okay.
And what you should look out for as a collector. So be on the lookout for that. Next week, we are doing our pre-order live sale for our Kate's Kirkham Stegman signing.
Which, do we have rescheduled dates for the actual signings?
Right now, tentatively 16th and 17th.
16th and 17th.
But that could change.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's all depending on making sure all the creators can still get here those dates.
Yeah.
Which, if they do, it'd be great because that would be day of release.
For Venom 35.
And you can actually get a really cool special CGC label for day of release signing.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So if that
did
happens,
not
that'd be
know that.
really sweet, especially for the 200th issue of Venom. So
Venom 35 is the 200th?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Legacy.
Legacy
I
numbers.
know.
Yep.
How are you supposed to keep up with crap like that?
They have been doing it for you by putting it on the book.
Several of the bigger titles has... I don't think it's on the variant cover.
Yeah, there it is, isn't it? LGY. Yeah. I know.
So they started that in 2018 with Marvel Legacy.
Yeah.
And then they started actually going back, just actually having some of the numbers as a whole like they were. And then they started having their normal reboots that they do. And then they just started doing the Legacy number like that.
So when 35 releases the trade, what will be more in front? Will it say 200 and then say 3? Or
Some of it's in the art.
I think it depends on the cover you choose.
Yeah, some of the variants say 200.
Gotcha.
The trade dress will look like that, where it says 35, and then say 200 smaller in the Legacy number.
Yeah.
It just depends on some of the creators, and what they decided to do over there. So,
Gotcha.
but-
I do really like that they started putting the legacy numbers on there as
Yeah.
someone who collects really long runs of stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they were thinking about, and a big thing with that was their current creator is a huge comic nerd, and he was like, I hated when I would get a new series. I'm like, where do I put this?
Yeah.
So it was kind of his input to help, have them start doing that.
Yeah, and they can make a big deal when Spider-Man hits 700, right?
Well, yeah,
'Cause-
it's getting closer to 900.
Yeah, 700 sitting on the desk in there. That was 2000.
Well, I'm just saying, had they not done Legacy,
Oh, yeah.
700 would have been something completely different.
What I think they're doing with Spider-Man is they're trying to get, because they're doing it 2 to 3 times a month. They think they're trying to get it to 1,000 as fast as possible.
Catch it up with Superman.
Yeah, because we're already almost to 900. We're at 861, 862, something like that. So I think they're trying to get as fast as they can to 1,000. So they have that big milestone for Spider-Man. So,
Nice.
which should be pretty cool. I don't know if Nick Spencer's going to be on it the entire time from 800 to 1,000.
It's a lot of books.
Yeah.
Dan
Slott was on it for
Dan
10
Slott
years.
did it. Yeah.
We kind of griped about it on an earlier podcast, but he's back in the red and blue suit now.
Yeah.
I didn't last
I
very
didn't
long.
think it would. Was that 4 issues?
Yeah. It
Does
was
it-
not very much.
I didn't read it, but does it feel intentional why he was in and out of the costume? Or does it just like all of a sudden he's back and they just didn't really explain it?
Yeah, so the whole reason he was in the new costume is he made a deal with Jameson. Jameson has a new online paper.
Yeah.
And this new suit was like a social media suit, and it streamed to the newspaper website and all this
Okay.
jazz. And he cut ties with that. So now
Okay.
he's back.
So there was a story reason for
Yeah.
being in and out. That you can
that's
forget
at
that,
least-
right? It's not just we made a mistake. That was
I know
poorly
that-
received. We're just writing it out.
It was definitely planned to only be a short run the whole time. So
There you go.
There's a guy I know. His name is Bill. He's a great guy. It does a lot of setup booths for like Marvel and some of these bigger companies. He's a fanatic, Spider-Man fanatic, and he noticed in the book that when he shot his web with the new suit, it actually made a different sound.
I didn't pay
It
that
was
close
spelt
attention.
different
It was
than
like
how it would be normally.
flap.
Yeah,
That's a thwip.
it was thwap.
Yeah.
Because it was a robotic sound, right? And he was like, "Don't do this. This is not okay." And he was like, "This is what would Wolverine fans say
If it was snack.
if that was changed, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "You can't do that." So I thought that was pretty interesting to like pay that close attention to the sound that was made from the web coming out.
I will say that
So-
that
and that's pay attention to the details, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a fanatic. So.
I can't think of any other comics outside of Marvel that have created onomatopoeias from thin air that are now iconic.
Yeah.
Thwip and Snicked are like they're marvels, right?
Yeah, I mean, our we have a Wolverine issue that Miko Swine did for us, and we homaged it after ASM 300. And instead of doing the numbers behind it, we just did his sound behind it, over and over and over again, because
Yeah.
it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty when he said that. I was like, yeah, you wouldn't. Why would you change that sound? So it was interesting to see. Like, I wonder if other Spider-Man people got upset about that, or if maybe now they're realizing that they're upset.
Well, I mean, but that's probably part of that story arc. That it's that much different, and that it's not him.
Yeah.
Right. It's not he doesn't want to be in the suit.
kind of guy. He doesn't want
Yeah.
to be all over the face of something.
Yeah. So it's kind of like in film, making a shot uncomfortable for a reason.
Yeah.
Now you're changing things about the character for a reason to make
People
it
upset.
almost sounds like they wanted people to
be frustrated.
be frustrated
Yeah.
with that change because Peter is frustrated with that change, right? I think that can be a very intentional.
very, very subtle way of doing it, but it got the big fan for sure. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, so don't forget, as we said earlier, is once we get to 1,500 subscribers on our YouTube channel, 1500 subscribers, every subscriber will get entered into a drawing to win this slabbed book, Venom number 398, signed by Cates and Stegman,
yep.
with the Molina variant, worth quite a bit.
Yeah, it's
So-
pretty cool. Pretty cool giveaway. I'm sure we'll probably have another milestone after that and have another giveaway.
Yeah.
So
So definitely recommend to all of your geek friends, if they're not already subscribed to the Unknown Comics podcast, they need to get subscribed and stay subscribed, because if they unsubscribe, then the total starts going down, and it's
Yeah.
just going to take even longer to give this book away.
yeah, we're over halfway there already.
Yep.
We're almost 800, I think.
So we will keep reminding you. So definitely get onto that. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. If you're joining us live, thanks for chatting with us. If you're not joining us live, comment on the things we talk about in the comments on the YouTube post. Can't really comment on the audio ones, but you can always listen and then
Yeah.
go to the YouTube and make comments. You can do it that way. Audio podcast not really a commenting platform. So, but thank you again for joining us, and we'll catch you next week on the Unknown Comics podcast. Bye.